Welcome to the Deep Dive.
Great to be here.
Today we're jumping into something pretty intense. Bong Joon-ho's 2013 sci-fi film, Snowpiercer.
A fascinating one.
Yeah, so the setup is wild, right? Earth is frozen solid after a climate disaster, and what's left of humanity lives on this enormous train. It just never stops moving.
A perpetual motion machine carrying society.
Exactly, but it's not just a train. It's like a whole society crammed in there with really strict class divisions from the engine all the way to the tail.
Very rigid.
And that's what we want to dive into today, how the film uses this unique setting to explore some deep social themes, class struggle, revolution, but maybe not in the way you'd expect.
Right, it gets complex.
Okay, so let's unpack this thing.
Well, the class struggle element is just incredibly stark. I mean, it's impossible to miss.
It really is.
The train cars literally represent different levels of society. You've got the tail section first.
The back.
That's where the poor, the oppressed live. They were forced onto the train, basically. Conditions are just dreadful, filthy, overcrowded.
And the food.
Minimal.
Yeah.
Barely survival. And it's clear their lives are just a constant fight. That's where the revolts always start.
Then you contrast that with the front of the train.
Oh, completely different world. The elite, the powerful, they've got luxury, amazing food, space, all the amenities. They control everything. The train systems and, crucially, the lives of everyone behind them.
And there's a middle, too, right?
Yeah, the middle sections. Sort of like various middle classes, I guess. Better off in the tail, definitely, but nothing like the front's opulence. And often, they end up helping the front keep the tail section down.
You mentioned the food, those protein blocks for the tail section.
No.
They look, well, disgusting.
They're intentionally grotesque.
Compared to the feasts we see glimpses of up front, it's such a powerful visual for just how unequal things are. The sheer indifference, really.
Exactly. It's not subtle. That inequality, the resource distribution, it's hammered home constantly. It makes the class divide feel really visceral, not just abstract.
Right.
And this intense class struggle naturally leads into the idea of revolution. The film shows multiple revolts have happened, but the main one we follow is led by Curtis Everett.
Chris Evans' character.
Right. He leads the tail section folks in this desperate push forward, trying to reach the engine, take control. Feels like, a classic underdog uprising story.
Yeah, that's what you expect.
But then, Snowpiercer pulls the rug out from under you. What's so fascinating and frankly disturbing is the revelation towards the end.
When Curtis finally gets to the engine room.
Exactly. He meets Wilford, train's creator, played by Ed Harris.
Yeah.
And Wilford drops this bombshell.
Oh.
These revolts, they aren't spontaneous acts of defiance against the system. No, they are engineered. Wilford admits they're deliberately provoked, necessary even, for population control. To maintain the train's closed ecosystem, its balance. He intentionally keeps the tail section in misery to ensure they'll eventually revolt, which then gets violently put down, thinning the numbers.
Whoa, okay, wait. So the revolution is actually part of the system?
Precisely. It's a tool for control. It maintains the status quo, prevents real change rather than challenging it, a horrifying feedback loop.
That completely reframes everything. So these uprisings are just, scheduled maintenance?
In a really twisted way, yeah.
That just guts your whole idea of what revolution is supposed to achieve. If the system itself needs the revolt to survive, can you ever actually break free from within it?
That's the terrifying question this film asks. It suggests maybe not within those confines, and the metaphors just reinforce this.
Like the train itself.
Yeah, the train always moving forward, never stopping. It's like society itself, this closed system constantly churning with inequality and struggle.
And the doors between the cars.
Obvious symbols of class barriers, right?
Yeah.
The obstacles to moving up, to changing your station, and those protein blocks we mentioned.
Yeah.
They symbolize the absolute bare minimum given to the oppressed. Their sort of calculated degradation. Even things like the aquarium car up front.
Right, with the sushi.
It shows this perfectly balanced, controlled, almost artificial environment for the elite. Totally detached from the squalor just a few cars back.
So it's way more than just an action-packed sci-fi movie then.
Oh, much more. It's a really brutal piece of social commentary about class, about power, and about how complicated and maybe even futile revolution can sometimes be. And it leaves you with this really provocative thought at the end, doesn't it? Where the train finally crashes, derails, and few survivors step out into the snow.
Into the actual outside world.
Yeah, you have to wonder, is this a real new beginning? Or will they just end up recreating the same cycles of hierarchy, exploitation, class difference out there in the cold? Is real change even possible? Or do we just rebuild the same structures?
Or is breaking free from the train, whatever system you're in, the only way? Heavy questions. Definitely things to think about in our own world.
For sure.
Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into Snowpiercer. Lots to chew on there.